Oh,
Hi.
awesome. Hi.
Okay,
Oh,
I have to
hi.
say, Mo is a trooper
Oh my gosh, I know.
for
And
hanging
Nadine has
around through
bounced
these
back and
issues.
forth a few times too. So
Oh man.
I think Mo needs a present. That's what I think.
Yes, big time. Thank
I'll
you,
have to
Mo.
figure something out. So Mo's up there close to you.
I heard he's in New Jersey. My parents live in New Jersey.
Yeah, so close to where
Who
you
knows?
are.
We may have crossed paths.
That's very possible. So I don't know because your live video, it wouldn't let me really even be on there. It just kept kicking me off and telling me that the connection was poor. So um, I'm not
Yeah.
sure
And
exactly.
all I could see was green pixels when you went on. And I'm like, oh, this doesn't look good. This is not a good sign.
Oh, I tell you, one week it works
Mo,
perfect.
my parents are in southern New Jersey too. They're right outside of Philadelphia.
Oh my, they may know each other.
Yeah,
So
totally possible.
how other than this have you been? This headache?
Other than this, no, I've been doing great. Today is a really busy day, so
Yeah.
I'm a mompreneur or momtrepreneur. So I have my son Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and then on Tuesdays and Thursdays I have him on daycare.
Mhm.
So I pack all my meetings Tuesdays and Thursdays. So today I don't have a break between 9 in the morning and 4:30.
Oh
And
man.
then I have a cocktail hour in the evening that I really told myself I really, really should go. I shouldn't skip that. And then tomorrow I'm traveling internationally.
Yeah,
So
just a little bit.
on Thursday I'll have a little bit of a breather. But
Have you got some of your packing
for
done
now
at
it's just
least?
some of it.
Okay.
Some of it. I even got myself, I can't believe I never had one of these. One of those like handheld scales for luggage that you
Oh
can
yeah.
hook on
Mhm.
and lift it up and you see how much it weighs. So I the limit is 50 pounds. I am at 48.5 on one, 45.6 on another, and I still have other stuff like my makeup to put in. That's
Mm,
gonna get me over the limit, but
yeah, probably.
I'm fine. Most of the stuff is packed. Whatever else, I'll just buy there.
There you go.
Where's? It's like,
Or borrow somebody in the
or
families.
borrow. Yeah, I'm staying with my sister. I told her I hope your wardrobe is accessible because that's where I'm gonna be going.
Oh, so give
Mo, one last
yeah.
thing. Mo, my father works in Cherry Hill. They live in Marlton. See, like it's all connected.
Yeah.
I'm ready. I'm
Oh, that is so cool. So cool. Didn't even know you were close to each other.
yeah.
And your dad's right there. So they very well could have seen each other. Um,
That's gonna get me over the limit, but
yeah, probably.
I'm fine. Okay, shutting the sound off on my computer. I want to make sure that I share this with people. Okay,
Okay.
so
So give me a little background on you. Tell everybody who you are, how you got started, kind of a little bit leading
yeah.
up to where you are now.
Whew, okay, that's a story, and I'll make sure to keep it brief. But all right, my name is Ina Coveney,
Mhm.
and I am a business coach. I'm a WordPress expert, and my story is pretty much like everybody's. You start out, you go to college, you get the job,
Mm.
you start to make money, you start to kind of get on that, on that hamster wheel, right? Of, working for somebody else. And now I teach people how to get out of that grind and work for themselves. But the transition wasn't seamless, right? It's not like I woke up one day and I said, I hate my job. I'm gonna go in business for myself. It was more gradual than that. If anybody has heard of the effect of boiling the frog, right? You can put a live frog in cold water, and as you warm it up, you can boil it to death essentially. And that's what I felt was happening to my life, right? I felt like I had just been put in this machine, which is college, work, retirement, you're done. And I knew there was something wrong with that. And there was all this depression that went with it. And which is weird to say because anybody who knows me knows that I'm a very peppy, like
Mm-hmm.
bubbly person.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't know that at home, I would call my husband. I would just cry, my then boyfriend, now husband, and I would just cry until I don't know what's wrong. It must be that there's something wrong with our relationship, right? You are doing something wrong. So I would find things wrong with everything, not really understanding that I was really not happy with where my life was going, with feeling like I had 30 years of work ahead of me, and I knew exactly what that looked like. I knew it was just eventually climbing, higher and higher the corporate ladder, and having my boss's job and having my boss's office and his commute and his problems. And I'm like, oh my God, I want off of this. I don't want this. And then something happened at work that made me go, okay, I am in a good place, that in a good financial place, that I feel like I can quit my job and really give my business a shot. My husband was extremely supportive through this, mostly because we just had a new baby. We had a newborn, and he's like, "Yeah, you're gonna stay home with the baby. That's a great idea." And I'm like, "Or I have the baby and I start a business." And he's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, baby, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, baby, but business." So that's kind of how it started. That's why I called my brand the Corporate Trailblazers, because
Mhm.
I target women who were like me. It's not like we hated our jobs and our lives. Everything just seemed fine. And that was not okay with me.
Mhm.
Everything was just on rails. And that this is not the train I want to be on.
Mhm.
So I talk to women who are trailblazers, who are type A. They were really good at their job. They're really good at what they do. And I'm like, you guys realize that if you were using all of that energy and all of those skills on building a life for yourself, like hiring yourself to give you your best life, what's the potential there? So we're here because I know WordPress, and I know that your audience cares about web making and creating their online presence.
Mhm.
And I started out making WordPress sites, and I still do. That's like half of my business is
Mhm.
making WordPress sites, because back when I had my first kid, I was like, I need to do something else. I need to use my hands. I need to learn something new. And I started making websites. And that has never stopped. I still have the clients that I signed up back then in 2011, I still have and I still support. And I have corporate sites that I'm working on all the time. I'm actually working on a really, really exciting project right now, to be able to make a, a beautiful professional looking website on WordPress for new entrepreneurs.
Mhm.
Because if you looked at my services, like whenever I got on a sales call, people would run for the hills because the price is high. And I would look at my prices and be like, I can't lower it
Mhm. Mhm.
anymore. Making a website is time consuming. It's
Yes.
going to take us weeks of going back and forth. Is, you create the content, but I edit it and I post it, and all of this takes so much time
Yes.
that at my hourly rate, I can't lower the price. And then I started working with an entrepreneur who said, well, let's figure this out, right? So she challenged me to say, let's make this a faster process, and let's make this a much less expensive process. And I got it. I figured out how to make that work. So in January, I am launching a product that is for new entrepreneurs, where they can spend less than $1,000 on a website that would normally cost like $5,000 to make. But we get to work on it, and it's going to be much faster. They have full control over their content, and we can just put it live like that. And I'm super excited about that product, because I didn't even think of how to do this if it wasn't for this other entrepreneur who challenged me, like, okay, how we can make this happen. And we
That's
did it. And I'm super excited about it.
that's
So that's
amazing.
long-winded way of saying, like, I am here. I teach women how to get out of corporate, and I also make websites.
That's amazing. Because I can tell you, I have your course, and it still
Yeah,
takes a lot of time
yeah,
to go through that and then to get your site the way you want it and to understand it. You're very good at explaining all of it, and you're amazing at, walking us through it. But it still takes a lot of time. So I understand,
yeah,
when people say how much it costs to build a website, there's a lot of hours that go into that you
yeah,
just don't know about unless you've done it yourself or tried to do it yourself. So yeah.
yeah,
And you can't lower your prices to where you're not being paid what you're worth either. Because I mean,
exactly.
then you're
So,
not going to be able to sustain your business, and you're not going to be able to continue to go. Um,
exactly.
so that's amazing, and that starts in
Yeah,
January.
yeah.
All
I'm
right.
super excited because, so what most people think, and I'm about to dispel a myth right now. I wish I could shout this from the rooftops because people ask me this all the time. They're like, okay, so making a WordPress site and hiring a professional to make it, all this stuff, it costs money. It takes so long. Like, why would we do this? Why don't we just go to Squarespace and get it over with? I'm gonna tell you when it's okay to go to Squarespace and when WordPress is your answer. Okay. And I will preface this by saying I'm biased. I'm a WordPress expert, right? Obviously, I want people to realize the power and the potential of WordPress. But I'm gonna tell you when Wix, Weebly, Squarespace, when all of those are appropriate. Okay. I'm gonna tell you that right now because everybody trips over this question. So I'm gonna first tell you the path, the journey of the entrepreneur, right? You're starting out, you're starting to figure out your business. You're actually not even sure if the business that you just figured out that you're going to start with is going to be the exact same business you're going to be in a year from now, right? Because as you learn, you start to develop more skills or more acuity to what people need. So your services are going to change, your website is going to change. Heck, I created my website in May. I'm rebranding in January, right?
Yep.
So in your first year of business, a lot of things change. So in the beginning, you don't have enough money because you're not making money because you don't have any clients, but you know you need a website, right? So you're like, I just need something quick and cheap and I just want to put it up. Here's what happens. So you go to Wix, right? They have drag and drop tools. You go to Weebly, they have drag and drop tools. I can make my website in 5 minutes or whatever, and I pay them, I don't know, some monthly fee, right? And you're like, great, I got my website, I got it done, it's fast, it's great, I have my blog there, I have everything there, it looks great. So for the first couple weeks, you're like, yes, I did it on my own, and that's exciting. And I'm like, great, because you got started, right? Yes. Here's what happens. As you start to learn more about your audience, as you start to learn more about online marketing, right? The more you listen to Tammy, the more you listen to me, the more you listen to everybody, right? You start to realize, okay, I need to start a mailing list, right? I need to have a good blog with all this good content. I would like to create promotional links, right? Because I have a blog post that is inacoveney.com/my-tony-robbins-experience-you blah, 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 blah. And that's too long a link. So I want shorter links. I want inacoveney.com/UPW. That will take you to my Tony Robbins experience, right? Yeah. So I want short links. Yeah. I want to be able to link to an online course in there. I want all of these things, right? I see what other people are doing on their website. I'm like, oh, I want to do that. I want to do that. And then you go back to your Weebly or your Wix and you're like, I can't do that here, right? I don't have all the ability to do all of the things that everybody else is doing. Why is Tony Robbins using a WordPress site, which is true? Why is Amy Porterfield using a WordPress site? Why is everybody else using WordPress? So then as your business starts to grow and you start to develop this interest in creating a much better online experience, you start asking about WordPress. Everybody's using it. I've made a little bit of money. Okay, I'm interested. What does it take, right? And then the people that come to me, they come at that stage and they're like, okay, I already have my website. I want to migrate it to WordPress. Here's the thing, guys. There's no such thing as copying and pasting your website from Weebly or from Wix to WordPress. You have to start from scratch. You have to start from the bottom. You have to redesign your website, pick a new theme, figure out what content you wanted. You're probably rebranding at this point. And because you're going to be spending you're going to be paying somebody like me thousands of dollars to create a great experience that is going to be tailored to you, you're going to have a lot of, I say it's not a bad thing. You're going to have a lot of opinions on how the website looks. So I talk to a lot of people who are like, well, I just want a WordPress site, but it's okay. No bells and whistles, just something basic. I'm like, it never works out that way because I'll create something basic and you'll be like, did I just spend thousands of dollars on this? No. I want this. So it always happens that you look at the final product and you say, I want more. Can we move this? Can we change this? And that's where the time-consuming process comes in, right? Because you will be tailoring your website, which is totally possible to do in WordPress, right? You can do anything in WordPress, especially if you have somebody that is doing it for you. So what I hate to see is the look on the entrepreneurs' faces when they're like, are you telling me I have to start from scratch? Are you telling me that now I have to spend all this money to redo this? When I tell people when they're starting out, look, You may not realize that you need all the bells and whistles of WordPress now, but it's going to be so much easier on you if you start, like if you need to learn a new tool anyway, if you need to go to Weebly and Wix and all these places and learn a new tool anyway, learn WordPress. Just do it. Just start small. WordPress doesn't have to be a big website. It can still be a small website, but put up the cost of the host, right? Which is around $400 for the first year. Then depending on what packages you get, like privacy, security, all that stuff, it's less than $100 a year for the next 4 years, and then maybe $500 for the 5th year. It's something like that. That's how you spread out those costs, right? Because you pay for the contract up front of the host, but WordPress is free. You're not paying anything to WordPress. So that's what I tell people. You start with WordPress, you put up your upfront costs of the host, right? Just do it now, learn it, make your website there. And that's why I'm creating this product. So I'm like, I can create something that is accessible to you now, so that later on, a year from now, when you decide I need to rebrand, you don't need a new website. You don't need to pay somebody so much money. You can just pick a new theme and start designing it and just basically get, consulting help. I do consulting, right? You want to make your website on your own, that's perfectly fine. I have a course that can guide you through it, right? But by then you already know the tool, and you won't go through those pains later on. So that's what I want to shout from the rooftops.
Yeah, exactly. And I started with Wix and lasted a whole 2 weeks and decided that as the more that I learned and the more that I knew eventually I was going to have, that's when I started looking at WordPress and saying, okay, wait a minute, this can do everything I need. I may not need it right this minute, but I know I'm going to need it. I mean, you can even have membership sites now in WordPress. You can have, email, you can have everything in there. So, and I can tell you, I bootstrapped it. I still am using a free theme. I haven't paid for a theme yet. And I just downloaded Elementor, which is the drop and drag, and use that. So like Mo, I completely get where you're coming from. Your pocketbook just doesn't allow it. You can get in there for free. And I will tell you, I absolutely love Bluehost. And they're not that expensive. And they're a really, really good host to have. And I actually just helped my daughter set up a very, very basic website using, unfortunately, she didn't want to do Bluehost. She didn't want to pay the upfront money for that. it was like $120, I think, for the first year. I don't even remember. But they didn't offer the option of monthly. But I mean, when I went up there and we spent a couple days just throwing a website together for her just so she could have something, to start with. But we used WordPress because I knew no matter what hosting service she used, and she wouldn't be happy with them eventually, that she needed to start there. So.
And what's great about it is that you can't migrate your site from Wix to WordPress, but you can always go WordPress to WordPress. So even if you're not happy with your host, right, which Bluehost is actually like really good one. That's the one that I tell people to use now. And if everybody wants to give me like a little help, I actually have an affiliate link in coveney.com/Bluehost. You sign up through there and I get a little referral bonus. That helps me out. But like I refer people to Bluehost now, like that's what I use. One thing that I want to make sure that people understand though is the difference between WordPress.com and WordPress.org.
Yes.
Right? A lot of people get confused with this because, I mean, WordPress is WordPress is WordPress. And I'm like, okay, here's the deal. WordPress.com is where you go to create your free blog, right? That's where everybody goes to create their free blog. The interface, like once you sign up and you're in the dashboard, the interface is very similar to WordPress.org. So and WordPress.org is basically the enterprise version, okay? So WordPress.com, if you've ever had a blog there, it's like half the battle already. You already know where things are. You already know how to add a blog post and how to create a page and how to add images, all that stuff, which is great. Please don't create your professional website on WordPress.com. Here's the business model that WordPress uses. WordPress is actually an open source tool. What that means is that it's free to you and anybody in the world can program in WordPress and put it out there on the WordPress App Store, okay? Open source, you don't have to pay for anything. All right, that's what they have. But they know that there's bloggers out there who are not going to go through the trouble of buying a host and installing their own WordPress and, dealing with all of that, which is the WordPress.org section. So they have a product, which is WordPress.com, which is free. But if you create your website on WordPress.com and you start wanting to add more features, like be able to add plugins and things like that, you do have to upgrade, which is like, I think last time I checked was about $25 a month. And you still don't get all the full features because WordPress.com is not meant to be a professional website builder. Okay, so don't do that. It's much cheaper to get your host and install WordPress over there for free. Much cheaper. So WordPress.com, if you already created that and you've already upgraded, get your money back. Go find out about Bluehost. Sign up with Bluehost. They install WordPress for you. As soon as you log in for the first time, they tell you, click here to go to your WordPress site. And then you go from there. And WordPress is free. It has full features. You don't have to pay anybody to add more plugins, to do anything you want on that site. So for that, Tammy, I created a freebie for your audience. All right, that explains all of this. And you can get it at inacoveney.com/Tammy, Tammi. And you have to spell Coveney right. It ends in EY. inacoveney.com/Tammy is going to take you to a PDF where I actually explain. Here is the difference between WordPress.com and WordPress.org. Because if you're thinking of WordPress, you need to understand that part.
Yes. Yep. And I mean, other than what you've told me about it, I still don't understand that part. I just know I needed it. And that was all I needed.
That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. Just don't go to WordPress.com to sign up for it. But if you know you need WordPress, go to my Bluehost link.
Go to Bluehost, yes. And go from there.
Yeah.
Oh, I know you have to get off of here. Unfortunately, we
Can you believe this? I have another live, like in 15 minutes.
I know.
Like, this is what Tuesdays look like.
And unfortunately, we lost a lot of time trying to get everything lined out.
It's gotta be my phone. It's gotta be my phone because this happened to me last week too. So I'm gonna have to use this phone for every other. So I take the blame. If you want to have me back, I am happy to finish this conversation because you guys need to know a lot more about the world of WordPress because there's so many things to keep in mind. And I'd be happy to take questions from the people in your group. So if anybody's watching this, like, come back. Actually, if you post a question here, I'll come back and answer it.
Okay.
So if you have any questions about WordPress, I'll come and I'll interact with you in the comments. So definitely ask your question.
Awesome. Thank you so much for offering to do that. And I may see about getting you back on in January.
Yeah.
Because there is so much more, and I had questions and all kinds of stuff that I wanted to ask, and we just had so much stupid technical difficulty. And Facebook hates me. I still swear Facebook hates me.
They just have a board
that has my name
Tammy's
on there.
name. Like, do not get anything to work for Tammy.
Don't let her have lives. Or if you do, don't let them be easy. That's just the way it works.
You know, my phone is a Pixel. And this is where it's not working. So I'm wondering if Facebook has a little feud with Google and not letting them use their devices for lives. That would be evil.
It would, but I've seen stranger things happen. So
yeah.
The other thing is it could just be that the phone is still new, but that's the Pixel 2, isn't it? Or is that So I mean, Pixels, they've been around, so who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
I have no idea what's going on, but I'm gonna take the fault for it. So we can do this again anytime, and you can ask me anything because I have so much to say about this topic. It's not trivial, but it doesn't have to be too hard.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't have to be hard to create your website and get it up and running, and look beautiful and professional. Like, it doesn't have to be that hard.
Yeah.
I have a whole bunch of tips that I can give you guys.
Yeah, and just get over the perfectionism that I had issues with to actually get it just out there.
Yeah. It's more important to have something than not. Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
So thank you so much for having me, Tammy.
Thank you for coming on, Ina. Thank you for being a trooper and us going back and forth to try and get this figured out. Have a safe trip and enjoy your time.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. It'll be great.
Yeah.
It'll be great. I can't wait. I already set up a photo shoot for Friday. So I'm gonna have my international photo shoots set up.
Nice.
And I told my husband, hey, you gonna stay with the kids that morning? I'm not gonna bother you. I'm gonna go to lunch with my sister. And he's like, great, have fun.
See ya.
I'll just stay right here. Go do your thing. So,
Oh, that's
great.
amazing that he is that supportive. So that's great.
Cool.
Well,
Okay.
have a Merry Christmas, safe travels. Thank you
Cool.
so much for coming on, and we will have to get you back on. And the next
Yeah,
time
we'll do it.
we won't have these
We'll do it.
issues.
Nope. Nope. I'll be prepared.
All
Thank you so
right.
much, Tammy.
Bye.
Bye, Mo. Bye, everyone.